So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So people who have been using Gemini AI to generate text for the past few months, regardless of whether they were using the paid version or the free version, were secretly guinea pigs for what was Google's DeepMind's AI watermarking system. So AI text watermark is, their AI text watermarking system is called SynthID, and this was announced maybe a few days ago, and it's an open source system, so just about anyone who is developing an AI system or already has an AI system, OpenAI could implement the watermarking on their text. Now, that's not the controversial part of this whole conversation. The controversial part is that people were actually testing this out for Gemini AI without even knowing that they were testing out a watermarking system. So whenever you went ahead and generated like a prompt, and we put in a prompt like, write me 500 words on how to train my dog for an affiliate site, Google will produce, or Gemini AI more appropriately, will produce 2 lines of text or 2 types or 2 versions of the text and ask you which 2 versions were the ones that you like, or which of the 2 versions that you like. So you would choose the version that you like, and the reason why Google was doing that was not only to, as we suspected, improve their AI system, but was also being done to test the watermarking system. And so, how does Google's DeepMind AI watermarking system, also called SynthID, work? So for starters, SynthID is open source for just about anyone who is, say, a corporation trying to develop their own AI can use it. How exactly it works? Well, if you know how LLMs work, so in a nutshell, whenever you generate a bunch of text using LLMs, the LLM will generate tokens, and each token then translates to a text. And it does that by judging the probability of what text would appear for each token. So it does that. It's kind of like you might think it's like a toss of a dice, but there's more science to it, and that's putting this in a nutshell. So the way the AI watermarking system does is that it throws in a node set of variables into the tokens so that it knows that these tokens will generate X type of text. And so by doing that, it can watermark the text. Now, according to MIT Technology Review, which I'm quoting over here, it's not 100% accurate, so it's not as good as it is with watermarking images, for instance. But it's improving, and it's getting there. Also, it's not very good if you're generating factual text, or if you're generating historical text. For instance, if you ask, how was the weather in 1893 in Washington, D.C., there is only one answer, and that's the right answer. So it's either the right answer or the wrong answer. So it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 lines of text, and it will be watermarked. And so that's probably one of the things where just AI watermarking system is not working it. But I can tell you from experience, and by also talking to many people in the AI industry, is that even though you can watermark text, the thing is that over time, unless there's a certain number of text generated, you could use the same AI or a different AI or an LLM to figure out exactly what text is being generated by the watermark system, and then use that AI to not generate text with the watermark system. And to try to figure out how this works is that whenever you're asking the Gemini AI, in this instance, to generate text, Gemini AI is generating text that's watermarked. And then when you go ahead and check it, what it does is that it checks the watermarked instance of the text against the unwatermarked instance of the text, which it generates on the back end. And so what that does is that if the watermark matches, or if they are remnants of the watermark, that will end up showing up as text that AI generated. So there are 2 reasons why Google is doing this. Now, the first being that obviously the internet has been overwhelmed by AI-generated text. The second is to minimize what's called a loop feedback. So with AI, when you're generating a boatload of text, and this is what everyone is generating a boatload of text, you have what's called a loop that's generated. So AI will start feeding off AI, and when that happens, you can have a lot of bad information. So Google wants you to think that this is to defeat misinformation, which may or may not be correct, but I don't think this will defeat misinformation. Or what it will do, it will minimize instances of where Google is feeding up its own text, or AI is feeding up its own text. Because if the text is watermarked, at the very least, Google will not feed out that text, and so it's going to be looking for original text. So that's the reason number 1 is to minimize instances of this loop feedback of AI-generated text. The second reason why Google wants to do this is because it wants to know exactly who and what is using their text. And this is this is a little more nuanced because just about anyone can use this text. But when people start using this text to game Google's algorithm, even though Google has said it's totally okay with people using AI text or AI generated text, Google wants to know who and when and where that text is being used, not only to just track that text, but also to make sure that when the ranking system doesn't look at AI text right now, but when the ranking system is updated to look at AI text, it will be able to segregate answers, or let's say it will be able to segregate SERPs that are from websites that are using AI-generated text and ones that are from websites that are using original text. And this is something that someone on the inside has told me. An upcoming feature is going to be the ability to choose between or know exactly what websites are using AI text and which websites are using human-generated text. That'll be something that Google will label. Not exactly when that will be out, but that's something that Google is working on. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this and whether Google should have let us know that we were test running their SynthID watermarking system, and whether or not this is going to be successful. Because if previous watermarking systems are anything to go by, it's kind of hit or miss, and I don't think it's going to be all that successful. But if Google keeps building on this, we might see it be successful. Like and subscribe as always, leave a comment below, and happy ranking.